All right, well, I think we can get started. Hi, I am Alice Keeler, and I am here in Fresno, California, but does it really matter because we're all just in our house. And I would like to share with you today my bingo board, which we can turn into a choice board or just use as a bingo board. And so the first thing that we're going to do is you're going to need to go to alicekeeler.com/bingo. So if you want to do this with me, this whole session is going to be live demonstration. So we're going to hope that the internet is speedy, probably wishful thinking. So if you want to go to alicekeeler.com/bingo, that is my template. So what I do is I code Google Apps Script. That means you can code Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Forms. In fact, I coded a form this week. I'm really excited about this. I needed to be able to update the choices in one form. So I have a separate form where you submit session titles and it automatically makes them choice options in the other one. And then when you sign up for one of the session titles, it automatically makes a calendar invite. So you can do that if you know Google Apps Script. And I create a whole bunch of templates. If you go to alicekeeler.com/scripts or just go to alicekeeler.com. Up at the top, it says add-ons and templates. If you go to the add-ons page up at the top of my website, I have a bunch of things that I've coded that all pretty much do this same pattern, alicekeeler.com/ and then whatever the template name is. So we're doing alicekeeler.com/bingo today. Does anybody have any questions before we start? No? All right, I've got the YouTube on my phone, so I know some people are going to be chatting over there. And for those of you who are here in the Zoom, please feel free to turn on your webcam and your microphones. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of the presentation. And what you would do is you would go to alicekeeler.com/bingo. Now you would do this every time you wanted to create a bingo board. Now I already did this because it can take a little time. They'll prompt you to make a copy, say yes. And so what you'll notice is that it has a bingo menu. So at the top, you have your file, edit, view, insert, format, add-ons, help. And next to the help menu will be a bingo menu. I coded that. Now, anytime you use anything that I have coded, you gotta wait like a minute to let the code load. So at first, probably that bingo menu won't be there. So a lot of times I code things into the add-ons menu, or I just code it as its own menu option, which is what I did this time up at the top. So you'll notice my options are to set up, insert checkboxes, make the bingo sheets, and delete the tabs. So I'm going to choose setup. And you're going to have to authorize it every time. You are authorizing yourself. Remember that you made a copy, so it thinks you are the owner of the code, and it's asking you for you to edit and access your own Google Drive. So hopefully that shouldn't be any problems. Now, if you're using a school account, your school account might have blocked third-party coding apps, and this would not work for that reason. Zoom in a little more. So if that's the case, what I usually do is I just go make it on my regular Gmail, and then I share it with my school address once I've run all the code using the Gmail. All right, so what you'll notice is you have now a tab that says list. It has these check boxes. There are 25 check boxes. It does say row 26, but that's of course because we have a header row. So 26 minus 1 is 25. And so it is based on you having 25 things. So it's going to make a grid. And so you're going to be able to just put in whatever you want for your bingo board. So you might just want to give some free choice options. I'm just going to cheat here and copy and paste down. So then I've got a whole bunch of things that I'm going to make for my bingo board. And then I'm going to go up to the bingo menu. I'm going to make my bingo sheets. That's really as easy as it is. You go to alicekeeler.com/bingo, and it will load the template. You have to make a copy. It'll load the template. You have to wait for the menu to show up. You do setup, And then you're just gonna put your 25 things that you want for your bingo board on there. And then you make the bingo sheets. How many bingo sheets do you want? So say you're in a class of 30, I'm gonna put 30. That will take a while to make. So, well, just for the purposes of this webinar, it goes pretty quick. So I'm just gonna put 10. And let's see what happens. We're gonna wait for it. I'm gonna zoom out. So you'll notice that all this stuff is going on and I'm literally just standing here with my hands in the air. The code is doing all of this automatically. What it is doing, it is shuffling the list of all the bingo items that you put on there, and it is randomizing 25 of them and then making this 5 by 5 grid for however many you wanted. So if you'll notice down here at the bottom, it says bingo 10, bingo 9, bingo 8, bingo 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And so it just populates that, and each one of them are different. So this one says thing 13, go to the store to buy cheese. Where this one, the upper two are thing 17 and thing 21, and go to buy cheese is down here somewhere. So it's just really quick and easy to just get these bingo boards. But then what do you do with them? Well, what I
missed a step.
Oh, you missed a step. Okay.
So I got to the, how did you, once I created my 25 items, yes. Then where did you go?
I went back to the bingo menu.
Bingo menu, okay.
And I did make bingo sheets.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna do this a couple of times too. So I thought I would first just show you what it does so we can even have a conversation of what we're gonna do with it. Let me see who all is in among them. All right. Okay, so down at the bottom, I have my bingo sheets. It created them. And then I would just Control P print. And there's a couple of things. If I look at the pages, it says total one page. Oh, it says current sheet, print the current sheet. I'm gonna do print the workbook. And the default is all sheets, but actually I don't want all of the sheets. So if you actually click on where it says all sheets, it gives you a list of all the sheets. So you don't want the list. And then this sheet 1 is actually blank because it's the first one that you started with. So I would uncheck those 2. But this doesn't quite look right. So I'm going to change it from landscape to portrait. And then it should all fit on one page. So what it is, I went Control P after I ran my bingo board. And so you can see here that you want to do a selection of sheets and you want to switch it to portrait. And then I save it when I print. Again, zoomed in here, I can't see the options. Oh, there it is. The Zoom thing's hiding my buttons. So I click next, and then it says, how do I want to print it? So you can print it to paper, or you could print it to a PDF, which is, I think, what my settings are. Yeah, save as a PDF. So I'm saving as a PDF. So now I'm going to have it on my computer. I could send digitally the copies of the bingo board as PDFs for students to fill out, mark on, do whatever with. So that is definitely one option. All right, that is the very basics. We're gonna start this over a little bit. Let's just go back and talk for a second about choice boards. Choice is really motivating. I know a lot of people like to make choice boards, but what we often do is we have one choice board and everyone fills out the same choice board, which is cool, but can't we like kick this up a notch? And if we randomize the choice board, then we can play bingo with the choice board. So we say, you know, do any 5 in a row for their choices as an option. And then every kid has a different 5 in a row. So it can really allow for some better collaboration opportunities because them and their one partner wouldn't be able to do the same 5 in a row probably. And so I thought, you know, I made this bingo board. It's something for fun for a party game, but I thought, well, I could just use this as a classroom item because with the template, you could put anything in for the choices. So I'm going to make a copy. Went to alicekeeler.com/bingo and do this again. And you'll notice there is no bingo menu. That's what I was telling you the first time. We just gotta chillax and wait for this. So when I do choice boards, I like to have at least a couple of options that are just for fun, along with things that are academic choices for them to do for the activity. Or maybe there's choices to include in their project. You have to do at least 5 of these, but you should do them in a row or diagonal. Ways that you could do that. Okay, aha! And we see that it did show up. Just gotta be patient. And so I'm gonna go ahead and set up.
Oh.
So if you're doing this with me, don't be afraid to ask questions. That's why we're doing this as a webinar, not a YouTube video. It'll end up that way. You're gonna have to authorize the code. Every time you create a new bingo board, you will need to authorize the code. Just say yes, allow. I coded it, Alice coded it, it's safe. And it's gonna give me 25 default checkboxes. So start to think, what kinds of things might you find out? You could even repeat them if you wanted to, because you needed to have them on more than one, but you're gonna need to check for that if they line up with the same one. So I probably would try and think of 25 different things. So I'm hoping that you all here on the webinar and those of you who are chatting in the YouTube can think, what kinds of choices might we want to give students as they're doing remote learning? So looks like we have some chat. So create a podcast. That's a good one. Thanks, Marcia. You know what's really cool about Google Sheets is you can collaborate with some of them. So I actually have Marcia's email memorized. And let me send it to her. So Marcia, if you want to jump in and help me create some options, what are things that students might do for remote learning? Now what my daughter did, I got to go get the link for you guys. It was really cool. She went to go to ucubed.org, week of inspirational math, and do it in Minecraft. So if you go to ucube.org, that is Stanford, out of Stanford, it's Joe Bowler's website for math, and they have this week of inspirational math activities. It's really designed to help kids feel like math is creative and visual. Well, hey, you know what's creative and visual? Minecraft. So we had her go take one of the week of inspirational math activities that's normally done on paper, and she made it in Minecraft. And like, I thought it'd take her like 20 minutes. She spent like 2 days on it because she just went completely overboard, making a roller coaster where you pull a lever and sheep drop down into the roller coaster. And then she has switches, building circuits so that when you pull this other lever, sheep populate this huge tower building made out of glass. It's like bananas. And so she recorded it, and that is on my YouTube channel. And I got to design a one-pager. Cool. I'm just gonna put do it in Minecraft. That's an easy one. What's something else we could have students do while they are doing remote learning? They could do a video office hours with your teacher, read a book. That's the best one. If you look at research, one of the things that's the most highly correlated to your kid being awesome in life. I don't usually like correlation research so much. I just like this one. And basically what it says is if parents read to their kids, and I'm not talking about like just when they're little, like their whole life until they move out of your house, you guys have story time where you read to your kids. I know when I was in high school, my mom would read us like the Chronicles of Narnia. And so maybe that's why I'm so successful in life. My mom read to me. So teach me something, right? Teach the teacher something. So one of the things that we could do is have a parent read you a book or story, cook something in the Instant Pot, something on the stove. Use measuring cups, but only the 1/3 cup. Create a Lego. I see you in here, Marcia. Start typing. Building. Oh yeah, with the largest volume, okay? Yeah, trying to give kids some different challenges and things that are interesting that you can mix in with, check into Google Classroom. So I have a question in the chat. Will I find what I need to install bingo as an option in my sheet? So if you go to alicekeeler.com/bingo, that's the place to start. I would keep a notes somewhere because I have a ton of these. Everything I have is alicekeeler.com, alicekeeler.com/carnitas. If you want to make Mexican pulled pork in the Instant Pot, alicekeeler.com/rice. If you want to make rice in the Instant Pot, alicekeeler.com/chicken soup. Okay, so those are all my recipe ones. And then I've got a bunch of others that are templates. So alicekeeler.com/bingo should prompt you to make a copy of a Google Sheet spreadsheet. And if you just wait, it can take like a minute. You're looking for this bingo menu to show up. And then you can choose setup. So what everyone is doing is you have a spreadsheet. You went to alicekeeler.com/bingo. You waited for the bingo menu to show up. You chose setup. You authorized it. And now you're trying to think of, we're going to make this bingo sheet together. Trying to think of what could kids do for remote learning that we could give them some different choices on a choice board bingo sheet. And if Marcia will type on this, you can see how, why do this alone? Let's collaborate together. So I'm going to start typing down here so that Marcia can type up there. You can see this pink box. Yeah, I can tell where she's typing, so I don't want to type there. Right? Go to quizizz.com and choose self mode. I like to have I literally tell my students that they can go to Quizizz. If you go to quizizz.com and you type in any topic, 25,000 quizzes come up. I don't need to sort through all of them. The students can actually go in, find some quizzes themselves, and then there's a button that lets them do solo mode and to play by themselves. They don't have to have it assigned. So I like to give students some choice. They can just choose whatever quiz on the quadratic formula that they want to do. And so choice is just motivating. How can I give kids choice? And that's part of what we are doing today. I'm running out of ideas, but I shouldn't be. I just feel like I'm like, oh. Kahoot, take the Kahoot challenge. Kahoot challenges are self-paced mode. But we can participate in a Kahoot live session over video conference. You can do both of those. I did a webinar with Kahoot several weeks ago, and it works really great, right? You are projecting the questions into your Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams meeting, whatever your video chat is, and then the students are able to pull up on either by taking their Zoom window and squishing it down and making it small, which is what you should be doing, or so that you can be on the bingo board, or you can do Kahoot on your phone. So that's really great for kids. You can do that. And we've got create students use alicekeeler.com/bingo. Create your own choice board. They might enjoy doing that. If you would like another fun alicekeeler.com, try use alicekeeler.com/word search to make a word search. I coded that one too. It would be the same thing. You'd go to alicekeeler.com/word search. You'd make a copy. You'd have to wait for the code to load. And either it's under the add-ons menu or it created my own menu. So it'll either be here or a menu like that. And it'll allow you to take your list of words that you do for your word search and it creates its own, which is pretty cool, of course, in a spreadsheet. They're fun to make. Learn, practice typing. I use typeracer.com, but that is just really not super appropriate for kids. Is it Nitro Type? Someone can help me out with that. Create a survey. One of my favorite things is the New York Times. What is going on in this graph? And every week they give a really interesting chart or graph that does not have the headline and it does not have the article itself. So students have to use context clues to interpret the graph. Notice every week the graphs are like super different. So I'm gonna link to this, copy that link. I'm gonna say, oops, that's where Marcia is. Get out of her way. I'm gonna come down here. Go to New York Times. What is going on in this graph? And interpret the latest graph. Okay. Now I do need check boxes for all the ones. So you can have more than 25. And I think what's nice about the bingo board they've designed, there's a reason that it has the check boxes is because you can actually just do a brainstorm. You could collaborate with your students on this, that you give them the spreadsheet and you and them and everybody contributes and makes this list of some of the different choices. So this one's blank and this one's blank. So I'm gonna uncheck those. I'm gonna go up to bingo. I'm gonna insert check boxes. Okay. And you'll see that it will add more check boxes as I need to. Personally, I just like to go to the insert menu and I insert my own checkbox. You don't have to do it with code, but if you do need extra checkboxes, you can go bingo, insert checkboxes. Okay, so we have our list. I've unchecked a few. Uncheck, this one's gonna be, I'm gonna leave it, but it's obviously really long and it's gonna fit in there kind of funny. Now where it says title, you can title this. So I'm gonna call it Remote Learning Bingo Choice Board. And once you've got your list, that's where you go back to the menu and choose Make Bingo Sheets. Okay, so someone on YouTube wants to know, if we want to play actual bingo online through Google Meet, could we share with our students, assign each student a tab number and they can highlight their box if called? Absolutely. And I will show you that, Carrie. Thank you. All right, make bingo sheets when you're ready. I'm only going to do 10 just so it doesn't take all day to create all of them. That's right, Meredith. If the boxes are unchecked, it skips those. So the one where I said do it in Minecraft, they unchecked it, and the go to youtube.org, unchecked it, those won't show up in any of the choices. So you do need to make sure that you have 25 choices checked, because otherwise it'll throw blanks into there. It looks like I have some blanks. I wonder why I shouldn't do that. Unless I just had some and I didn't. Sure that I messed up. You know what, I'll just run it, see what it looks like. That's okay, Marcia, I'm glad that it's in there. You can see if you had one of them checked and it was blank, it counts it as a blank option. So I am able to just go bingo, delete tabs, because I do this all the time. I make the whole thing and I'm like, messed up. And now it's gonna eat all of those tabs. So I can come back to my list. I'm like, yep, there's a blank and there's a blank and I want that one. I'm gonna go ahead, bingo, make bingo sheets. I'll do 8 this time. So you can make it, reuse it. Now I did intend, my original thought that this would be printed, which is fine when you see your kids face to face, but you might not see them face to face. So how would I distribute this digitally? So again, why don't we practice? I'm just going to wait a minute for those of you who are following along and for you to run your bingo sheets, make sure it worked. And if anybody has any questions, I want to wait for you to try it. I was reading questions, sorry. I don't know. Well, okay, so someone asked what about making hot links. I was gonna be like, you can't unless it was only this, but literally this week, Google Sheets has a new feature where you can hyperlink part of a cell. The problem is, you'll notice is that was not hyperlinked a second ago. Let me click on a different bingo board. So what I have to do, if you have a link in a cell, you have to put a space manually after it. So notice I'm at the end and I push space. Wait, I'm gonna chat. Space, it turns it into a hyperlink. And this is new. I'm gonna, like I just highlighted the word Kahoot. And I'm gonna hyperlink with a K. So Command K, I'm on a Mac. So you would do Control K. And I would go to Kahoot.com, apply. And you see it's now telling me that cells can now support multiple links. Like I told you, it's like literally brand new as of this week. So you can hyperlink parts of it. Now, if you're gonna print it, that won't do any good to have hyperlinks. But if you're gonna distribute it digitally, they sure can. So if you have where the link is in the middle, like this one says, use alickeeler.com/word search, you'll notice it's not hyperlinked. If I do a space, right? Like, do you see I have to do it myself though? It changed to a hyperlink. So Todd, that's the answer is brute force. You have to go through and force the hyperlinks. It won't be hyperlinked just because you have it hyperlinked in the, well, you know what? I don't know that because it's brand new. No, these are hyperlinked in the list, but they're not hyperlinked when it came over here. So you'd have to go through each page and put a space after each hyperlink if you did want them to be live. Right, to get the title to appear on the bingo sheet. Great question. It's here in C1. Cut off there. And what it is actually a problem I'm going to point out later, and it's something I think I need to update in the code. So what happens is if you, whatever you type in C1, it will reflect on all of the sheets. You see it says remote learning bingo choice board. And I am going to change that to Alice was here. And if I go to any of the choice boards, it's now going to say that title that I put in C1. In fact, there's another one, you notice where it says other. And so because I have down here at the bottom is name and others, so you might want to just put like, what period are you in? And when you do that, now notice each of the choice boards says, what period are you in? Which is really great if you are going to print this out. No problem. The problem here is that this is a formula. If I double click, you notice this says, go take what's on the first sheet list, and whatever's in C1, stick it in there. That's why I'm able to edit this. And then they all update because I actually have a formula. These ones in the squares are not a formula. When I double click, it's the actual text. And the reason I made that decision was because I would forget to write the title like all of the time. And I would usually make all my sheets and then like, I wanted to put a title on there. So I wanted it to be dynamic. So if you edit it on the list page, that it will update to all of the sheets. So let me show you what you can do to distribute this digitally. So first of all, you can double click on any sheet and rename it. So I'm going to make this one for Marcia. I'm going to do the tiny triangle and I'm going to copy it to a new spreadsheet. So it's just going to make a completely new spreadsheet out of this. You're going to see the problem in 1 second. It's a small problem, and I'm going to show you how to fix that too. So if you have all these individual choice boards, they're all together. So if you want to separate them out to their own individual spreadsheets, you're just going to click on the tiny triangle on the tab, copy it to a new spreadsheet. And I can open the spreadsheet. Of course, it saves to my Google Drive, but here's the problem right here. It says, wait a minute, there's no tab called list. I can't fill this in. Okay, so how I would fix that. Control Shift V. I'm gonna write that here on a slide. Control Shift V is paste special. And I think what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna update my code so it will fix this problem. I am thinking I'm gonna do bingo and just have one that's export the sheets where I'll just export all of them for you. And then I will make it so that it paste specials the title, but I don't have that yet. But stay tuned. So Control V is paste. Command on a Mac, right? Control V is paste. Control Shift V is paste special. So let me show you how that would work, right? If I put Alice and Keeler separately, Marcia, see if I spell it right, and my sister. Okay, and so I put here equals left, this one character, ampersand, this one. Now I have first initial, last name. And the problem is if I copy and paste this, it's like, what? Because it's looking for, it's a formula. It's looking for the cell to the left and the cell to the left. And when I paste in random places, it doesn't have Alice, Keeler, Marcia, Korea, Nancy Clayback anymore. So the trick is when you have formulas, when you copy and you paste, instead of Control V paste, hold down the Shift key. Hold down the Shift key, press V, it pastes it as values instead of pasting it as formulas. So notice when I double click, it is not a formula, or this one, when I double click, it is a formula. So one thing you could do, and I feel bad for suggesting this to you, oops, I was on this one, is for each one, I'm going to come up to the top where it says the remote learning bingo choice board. I'm going to single click, Control C copy, Control Shift V paste. Go to the next bingo board, single click. It's already copied. They all say the same thing. They only needed to Control C copy one time and Control Shift V. Whoops, what happened here? That. Control C, Control Shift. Okay, I lied. So I have to select it because it's merged. It got mad that I pasted apparently. That seems like a glitch. Control C, Control. It's fast. I see the error of my ways though when I coded this. So I'm gonna fix that. And I realized it like right before the webinar. I'm like, that's gonna be a problem. You don't really, I don't think about it when it's too late. You're like, dang it, I don't have time to fix this right now. But you know what? Control Shift V is a really great tip whenever you're using a spreadsheet and when you Control V paste, and you're like, that didn't paste like I wanted it to. Do Control Z undo and try Control Shift V and see if paste special works better. That's true also for like using a Google Doc. You know, when you copy and paste off the internet and you paste it into a Google Doc, it's like weird looking because it's all the formatting of the internet. So if you do Control Shift V when you paste into your Google Doc, it'll strip all of the formatting and it'll match the font that you're using in your Google Doc. So that's a fun one. All right, I'm just trying to see all of the chat. Where's my phone turned off? Okay, just looking over at the YouTube, see if anyone has any choices. Okay, so now that I have, so when I double click on this, it is the text and not the formula because I Control Shift V. So I can take the tiny triangle and copy it to, seems hiding my choices. But yeah, a new spreadsheet. I can open that spreadsheet. Now it's its own choice board, so you can share that with whichever student you want to share it with. And we had a question, if you were in just a live Zoom meeting with your students, could you just assign them on the bottom? Absolutely. And I like to teach kids spreadsheet skills. So it's not so hard to just double click. Alice, double click, then, yeah, I could do that, but I tell them to claim a number, double click, put their name on it, let them do it. And if they select the bingo sheet, they should be able to go to the paint can and fill in the paint using the paint can to show their bingo if you wanted to, however you want to run that. Let's see how I could do this with like math problems. I'm sure it's not rocket science. Alice, I would type math problems. Yes, that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to type math problems. Load, I'm going to make a copy. But of course, I'm going to get a little fancy because I'm Alice. I got an email today that said, Alice, your spreadsheet's great, but it's like too smart for everybody and you need to make it simpler. And it works awesome for me. I guess you're going to need me because my spreadsheet. All right, come on, bingo board. See, it takes like a minute for real. So there it goes. So once the bingo shows up, I'm going to hit setup. Continue. All right, what would happen if they try to move things around for the easiest 5 in a row? Then they would move things around. Yep, they could do it. You could always go to version history and see that they did it. But yes, there's nothing stopping them from just typing their own things in there. It is an editable spreadsheet. So I'm going to do like 5 plus 3, 2 plus 7. This is feeling tedious. So here's my trick that I'm going to do. I am going to write a formula. I'm going to say this equals rand between 1 and 9 and quotation space plus space quotation and. So if you use the ampersand, it allows you to put numbers together with text. This is like a total just bonus. You can protect it, but they wouldn't be able to change the color. That's correct. And then I'm going to do rand between 1 and 9. Oops, 1 and 9 again. Ooh, look at that. I am such a cheater. And then if you double click on the fill square, it filled it all down. I now have 25 math problems. I'm like, well, why stop there? And then I just pull this down and now I've got 76 math problems. Bingo. Insert check boxes. Yeah. So now you got a bunch of check boxes, a bunch of math problems, and I'm going to bingo, make my bingo sheets. How many do I want? I want 30 of them. So if you were to type history questions, math problems, whatever is your content, what you're able to do is give them a choice that they have to do any 5 in a row, and they can't just copy it off of their neighbor because I had more than 25 choices and nobody's is the same. So that's a fun way to do it. Okay, so questions. Look at this, just making all these math bingo boards. All right, does everyone feel like, you want me to go through the formula again?
Yeah, would you?
This was not a spreadsheet formula workshop. We have to wait for this to make it 30 times, which was my point before, and only making 10. It's on number 8 right now. So I love concatenate, and this is not a joke. I have 5 children, and if I were to have a 6th child, I would name her Concatenate, and we would call her Cat for short. And what concatenate means is to basically smash together. So if you want to put 2 things together, you use the ampersand. I prefer that over the concatenate formula because ampersand is 1 character and concatenate's a really long word that you don't know how to spell. Mess it up all the time. Probably will learn how to do it right if I somehow get pregnant a 6th time, which I will not, just so we're clear. I'm 43 and we are done. Come on. Oh, it's on bingo board 16. I'll switch over to this one. One more time is that I can delete the tabs. So I can take away all of the tabs that previously had made. I'll just come down here. So the formula that I had used is equals rand between. So give me a random number between. I use that a lot. I mean, I'm a math teacher, so I like to generate random math problems. So rand between is like my go-to. So I'm going to do, I want them to do double digit numbers. So I'm going to go between 10 and 99. And I want a number and I want some text. I don't want to actually do the math problem. I want to show the math problem. So I have to make this into a text field. All text has to be in quotations. So quotation, space bar, plus space bar and quotation gets me that text in the middle. And I'm gonna do another rand between. So when you use the ampersand, when you concatenate things, you can do a mixture of numbers, formulas, cell referencing. In fact, what I was doing today is if you're in a Google form and you go to the three dots menu up at the top, you can go down and it says get pre-filled link, which allows you to get a link that you can share with someone that has some of the information defaulted in there. Like if it's a daily check-in, I default it to today's date so I don't rely on them putting it in. And then I send them a new link tomorrow, even though it's the same Google form. So it's cool. But like I have a roster of kids' names and I don't want them to type their own name because you know what happens. And so I wanted to make a pre-filled link per kid, but that is not going to be what I do. I mean, teaching high school, I have 150 students, right? So that feels like I should use a spreadsheet. So what I do is I get that pre-filled link, I paste that in the spreadsheet, and then I have all my students' names and I replace the default name in the link to quotation, ampersand, C5, ampersand, quotation. What? I know, it's concatenate. You know, you have to do the link and I want the cell that has the student's name and I want to go back to the link. So I'm able to do this concatenate to customize Google Forms links, and that is a completely other workshop. Actually finished everything I wanted to talk about for this one, so now I'm just rambling randomly. And so this would be my formula. It's going to take a number and a plus sign and another number. So it'll create that for me. This is the fill square down here in the bottom right-hand corner. So I can pull this down. I can also pull it up. And I will use my menu, bingo, insert some more checkboxes for all of those, and then make bingo sheets. I'm gonna be smart and make 3. So it's gonna pick a random 25 out of my list of more than 25, and it's randomized for each kid, and they only have to do 5. So some of my favorite Joe Bowler quotes, you know, if kids doing 30 problems was effective, everyone would be good at math, but we know that many adults are not. It doesn't work. What you wanna do is spaced repetition, not mass repetition. So I wouldn't give kids this worksheet of 25 math problems. I'd say, here's 25 math problems. You get to choose any 5 in a row and get bingo. We can come back later and do this again if you wanted some more practice, but spacing it out is significantly more effective because you have to come back to it. Where is card 1? What does that mean? So someone wants card 1 from the list. I'm still confused. You want to turn on your mic? Okay.
So my question is how, like, is that the sheet, the one you're showing right now, is that the one we're going to use to call from if we're playing bingo? We just grab.
Oh, okay. So thank you. Yes, this would be the list that you would call from. Would you like to see how you might do that?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of the options. Now, the way I did that is I clicked on now you can drag, obviously. I'm going to click on the first one. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom and hold down the shift key. Shift key gets me the last one. So now it selects all of them much more quickly. And if you right click and choose sort range, no, randomize range, choose randomize range, it just sorts them randomly. So I'm going to call 51, I'll just call the one on the top, right? 51 plus 39, right click, randomize range, 20 plus 57, right click, randomize range, 33 plus 77. So we'll just keep right clicking and you'll be able to call them off of that sheet. I never play actual bingo, so that threw me off. In a classroom context, definitely, sure. I'm all in for doing just fun things that are community building or just with the vocabulary words, if they have them, just to have a review or something. But most of the time I've got some sort of like a challenge or a math problem or question that they have to answer. So the where they get it, it's called because they answered it or they did it. So a little more student control on that. But yes, you can just randomize it by right clicking, which is kind of a cool thing. That's relatively.
And it won't repeat. It won't repeat the one that you called if I do that.
It doesn't. It randomizes with replacement. So it's possible that the same one would come up. Yeah. You know, you could uncheck it. Now, the problem with this one is, of course, did you see how the numbers all just changed when I unchecked it? It's because I have a formula that's randomizing. So you remember what we learned? How do we get rid of the formulas? So I'm going to highlight column B, Control C, copy, and I'm going to do Control Shift V, paste special, and now whoop, got rid of the formulas. And now those are static. The thing I should have noted is that because it was a randomized formula, not only did I have 77 questions that it was pulling from to build this math problem, but every time it made a bingo board, it re-randomized all 77 of them. So I have literally nobody has the same ones for sure. That's if you do it with math problems and concatenating. I'm assuming you wouldn't do that. That was for fun. Okay, any last questions? What do we still need to know? Want me to show you the print features again, just one more time? I'm going to Control P print, and it's defaulting to what I had previously done. So it will be in landscape. You want to make sure it's in portrait. You don't want the current sheet, you want the workbook. And then click on all sheets because you don't want all the sheets. We don't want the list. And if there's one that says sheet 1, we don't want that one either. And so now it looks like the bingo board. Now you can print it as a PDF or print it to paper. If you print it as the current sheet, which I don't want that one to be the current sheet, cancel. I'm on this bingo board, Control P print, current sheet. Now I can print that one to a PDF so it's separate, because otherwise they're all gonna print together into one PDF and you'll have to separate them. So it might be easier to just Control P print each one individually and just get a bunch of versions. So that's up to you. Yes, I could code that faster. I'll think about it. Okay, anyone else? Okay, and if you want to learn more about spreadsheets, as you can tell, that is my passion in life. I'm running 2 spreadsheet workshops right now for my Go Slow workshops. They are $49 each. However, you can subscribe for $12 a month and cancel at any time using alicekeeler.com/discount. All right, thanks. Have a good one, and I will see you at the next webinar. And